6-game NBA slate today, 8 games on FanDuel, but the 6 games on DraftKings don't look that good, in particular because our precious boy Quentin Grimes won't be playing today. But we're going to do what we always do here on this channel. We're going to look at my projections compared to some of the industry leaders out there, like Stokastic, like our friends at Unabated. We're also going to see what the best bets are on Unabated, of course, getting you guys in good on PrizePicks, on Underdog, on DraftKings Sportsbook, on FanDuel Sportsbook. We're also going to run some DFS sims on Stokastic. By in this video, the must plays and my splash plays for today's NBA slate, March 24th. Let's get it. I have to look at the date twice to make sure. I'm delirious after a weekend of solo dad duty. Alex's, thankfully, last, trip of this quarter, but we're good to go. Appreciate Steve. Steven knows right away. I am so sad over Quentin Grimes. He would have been my top directed guy for the DraftKings slate. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that. They don't need him without McCollum and Zion. I guess, yeah, it's true. It's such a tough matchup on both sides for Philadelphia, New Orleans. And let's go for our guys. Squeak, appreciate it. I had a top 16 finish in the 4-point play on Friday with our boy Quentin Grimes, though I do think 1v1 swapping him would have actually been the thing to put me over the top. So it's a bit of a downer. But I was excited to play Grimes again. This slate is not very good. So your big issues right now, Giannis, Jason Tatum, these guys are on the DK late slate on your FanDuel slate today. They're not on the DraftKings slate. They're my top projected guys. And in fact, the only players that I have over 50 DraftKings points today. So Giannis and Tatum, your two best plays if you are playing on FanDuel today, or that DK late slate or Underdog. But for right now, they're not in the DK slate, so I don't really care that much about them. The main slate, that is. Luka Doncic, because having LeBron back in, price tag not working. Luka Doncic at a 12.3 salary, so a little bit high for a guy projected to put up 50 fantasy points. 1.8% ownership expected to go his way. It's going to move around a little bit, I'm sure. When Stokastic updates their data, unfortunately, they did not update before the show. I had to update all the minutes and stuff myself, so if things look weird, that will be the reason why today. But for Luka, high price tag for him. Of course, my son, who I've had so much time with this weekend, named for him. But I really don't think you want to pay up for that 12.3 salary today. People won't be doing it. So that's the tournament logic, I guess, of why you could try to go to Luka. Hope he has an outlier day. Maybe LeBron, I don't know, hurts himself again. Not that you're rooting for that, but if you are playing Luka at not a lot of ownership and not a great projection, you're hoping something weird happens. He's priced for life without LeBron, and he's got life with LeBron again. All right, we got Josh Giddey. So Josh Giddey was 28% before the show against Stokastic, having not updated since earlier this morning. I imagine he's going to move up now. Giddey in court time without the various point guards has been the best Bulls performer, as we talked about a few times on the show when that situation's popped up. Giddey averaging 1.46 fantasy points a minute in court time without Ayo Dosunmu, was out without Zach LaVine, without Lonzo Ball. All guys out today. You also add Trey Jones on top of that. Basically, a lot of opportunity to go around for the ball to get to somebody else's hands. There really aren't guys besides Kobe White, Josh Giddey, Kevin Huerter, Nikola Vucevic. We're going to get a bump up in opportunity because there just aren't really high usage guys behind them. So in this situation, Giddey to me looks pretty good. Not a crazy value magic. I only have him as a 5.1x value, but there really aren't a lot of pay up options today that look like better values. So Giddey going to be a lot of my lineups. He's in 51% so far. Well, early today, yes, early today, because I got to go pick up the kid before I do Stokastic's deeper dive, so that is the way that goes. I have no idea what I'm doing, but Spags will steer me right. I hope so, though. I would hope you have a little bit of an idea what you're doing. I think is an important part of NBA DFS. LeBron, if you're not playing Luka, getting LeBron is a little bit easier at a 10.3 salary. That said, only a 4.4x value, and even though it is a little bit of an antiquated thing, you still normally are looking for guys to have that minimum 5x value to want to play him. Of course, all the pay-up options today don't quite fit that criteria, at least with my data. So I have been 18.7% of my lineups, about 19. Fields at 5%. His ownership numbers are going to move around a little bit, but he does look like a player it's easier to get to me. He's also getting him in a regular crunch being run through the solver as well. So LeBron at 10.3. I think he's your best projected guy out of those 9K players. Besides Josh Giddey, who would have a little bit higher right now. Paolo Banchero, 14% for the field, 17% for me. Doesn't look that great in my projections overall today. Getting Cole Anthony out would help that a little bit more. But situation for Orlando is basically you are facing a Lakers team where the total is not that high. A 105.5 implied points for Orlando, actually pretty low on the Lakers side as well. A 109.5. Expect a competitive game there, especially with, the Lakers being quote unquote full health on their side. Orlando, on the other side, a good defense, but the game is probably, you would think, going down to the fourth quarter. So Banchero pairing him with LeBron, if you can afford that on the slate, I think wouldn't be a crazy thing. But Banchero being higher owned than LeBron, I'm not really sure that I would go that way. Anthony Edwards, Q tag on him right now. If he's out, the slate would change meaningfully. As it is right now, getting 7% for the field, 7% for me. Not really a player I'm dying to get today necessarily, but he is in an okay spot on paper going against Indiana. Total not as high as some of these Indiana games can get, only 228.5 combined between the two teams, but still a decent total for the slate where there really not a lot of great totals here like we've gotten kind of accustomed to in recent weeks. Kevin Durant on your FanDuel slate looks okay. Not really a player that I care that much about because he's not in the main DraftKings slate. Franz Wagner looking okay as well. If you're not playing Banchero, boosting Wagner makes sense. If you're not playing Wagner, boosting Banchero makes sense. It was one thing I did for my lineups on Friday with the Washington game where it was a lot of ownership going to both Banchero and Wagner. I basically split them up or at least decreased the projection if I was playing the other. Sort of how I did that. And it did allow me to get some more unique looks at my lineup. So I think for Franz Wagner, good play today. Today he'll be a little bit less played than Paolo, so trying to level that out more, I think, would be fair. But 17% for the field. I'm at 23% on Franz Wagner, who is the cheaper option, about a grand cheaper right now than Banchero. And Scotty Barnes playing about 30 minutes per game lately for Toronto, whatever reason. They still don't close games out with them in pretty much most situations, but still giving them enough time out there. So Scotty Barnes at 8,700 in a day where not a lot of great pay-up options. I could see playing Barnes more than usual. 13% for the field. I'm at 17. You do have RJ Barrett out, Grady Dick out. Some of the various Raptors that have been out for a while, they're still out. Let's sort by value here. There are still some value plays. Again, I think some of the stuff might move around a little bit when Stokastic's official minutes are in. For right now, I did the best I could to move things around to make it make sense for you guys and, of course, for myself here on stream. Let's see. All in today on DK. We'll have my $7 I have left, hoping to fund my MLB bankroll. More power to you. Playing the bankroll, keeping it smart's good. There are the big tournament going on the Thursday in MLB. I'll be actually on Stokastic for the opening day stream on that. And MLB too, good deal with Stokastic if you want to play over there. It's only $1 for their deals right now for the various MLB data they have, the sims and all that as well. Check it out. Click the link in the description. You could still use the 50-cent deal or $1 deal they have for all their data, but check it out for Stokastic if you are planning on playing that. And I don't know if it's still going on right now, but DK did have a deal where if you spent $200 or played at $200, you would get an entry to the thing. So I have like 3 entries to the $15 tournament on Thursday that were just given for my usual NBA plays. So I don't know if that's still going, but if it is going, I would recommend checking that out. And your top values right now, DeAndre Jordan, number 1. So DeAndre Jordan played 38 minutes yesterday in a game without Nikola Jokic. Stokastic was giving him 25.8 minutes. I think that seems fair. If he's not starting, I would just take him out of lineups right away. Your issue is that the Denver game is pretty late today. It's a 9 o'clock start time, so that's the last game actually on the DraftKings slate. You need to keep flexibility there. I would try to keep more lineups with Jordan than not. Ideally, you want to have at least one other player in that Nuggets-Chicago game, which you'll probably get naturally. But the way that my lineups worked out, where I have Giddey, getting DeAndre Jordan a good amount, getting Aaron Gordon a good amount, I do like the way that works out because it gives you the flexibility where if DeAndre Jordan doesn't start, let's say it's Zeke Naji starting in center because Jordan is old and him playing a lot of minutes on the back-to-back would be a little bit insane. But he hasn't played a lot this year, so I guess he could do it, and he played 38 yesterday. So if he plays today, I would play him at a 3K minimum salary. Obviously, if he doesn't start, I would try to get him out of lineups immediately and just play whoever's the starter at center. All right, so Jeremiah Robinson Earl, 12%. My top 150 for him, 2.5% for the field. Stokastic did not update the New Orleans stuff for Zion being out, so I had to give it myself before the show. Robinson Earl, I think, has to play about 27.5 minutes no matter what. Likely playing the 4. I don't think he starts necessarily, but he has to play the 4, has to play some 5 as well. If he's not starting, it does get a little bit thornier there. You could see Olynyk, Makovich. If Missy's playing, it gets a little bit harder for Robinson Earl to hit, safely the minutes floor and ceiling. But right now, I think at 3,500 looks like an important value play. If you get Missy out, I think it would be even more wheels up for him potentially. Jordan Hawkins, guy's been a big beneficiary from the lack of all the guard play at this point for the Pelicans. McCollum being added out today for a rest day. Zion out, as I just mentioned. So Hawkins, 4K salary. Not a player, I think, to get in every lineup at the 29 projection. If he were to give you 19, he would get pretty close to killing you on the day. So 34% for the field. I got him at 51. I think that feels okay for Jordan Hawkins. Alvarado looks like a better play to me. I know in the optimizer run I ran before the show, he's popping in every single lineup. He's another player too. I have him at a 35 fantasy point projection. If he gives you 25 in this spot, he's probably not killing you. So that's one of my metrics. Say, should this guy be in every lineup or be in 50%, 40%, whatever you want to kind of downgrade it to. For Alvarado, though, Field will be playing him a lot. So he doesn't really seem to get too high up in minutes. And they have guys like Keon Brooks, Antonio Reeves that they could play over him. So maybe you shouldn't be quite as assured of Alvarado's minutes, but they're playing Philadelphia. Philadelphia is not going to blow him out. So think Alvarado should be pretty much locked into his run. Makovic has to play a lot of minutes anyway. He's probably going to play more small forward today, I would think. There's going to be, I imagine, some amount of Makovic, Olynyk, Robinson, Earl, or Missy lineups because you're missing Bruce Brown's minutes, which have been pretty high lately. So like they usually do bump Makovic down, even though he's like not a natural small forward. He's really not a natural anything, but he's definitely not a natural small forward. But I think he probably picks up some minutes at the 3, unless they play Kane a ton of minutes. Speaking of Jamal Kane, getting him as a $3K minimum salary guy. He wasn't in Stokastic's data really at all, so he wasn't popping up in the sim. But I imagine he'll be another guy here along with DeAndre Jordan, especially if you got a Kane start, which you could get today because you have McCollum out, Bruce Brown out. It's possible, I guess, they could take Olynyk out too if that were the case. It'd be a really short rotation. But Kane, I have him for 24.5 minutes. It could get higher. And if he starts, he's not like a great per minute guy, but a 3K minimum salary guy starting. He should probably make it to some of your lineups if he does start. Kevin Porter Jr. on your late slate / your FanDuel slate looks like an okay value. Probably going to close the game for the Bucks, even though he's not been starting over Ryan Rollins with Damian Lillard out again today. Justin Edwards is my, I think, big winner from not having Quentin Grimes in. He doesn't push the usage up as much, but lately he's been pushing for shots. Went through the popcorn machine for yesterday's game for the Sixers. Was getting up a lot of shots in the first quarter with Grimes out there. So Edwards, to me, seems primed for a guy to kind of push his usage up. 24% for the field. Again, not having updated for Grimes being out and all of that with Stokastic's data yet. I got him in 53% when I gave him the updated minutes and moved the Sixers guys around enough. Makovic not coming in a ton of lineups. That said, think he'll be a good play. Have him for a 28-point projection at 4,400. Yves Missy, if he were out, would make the situation much more interesting for New Orleans. As it is right now, he looks okay at 4,500. Not a great play. I'm at a 28-point projection, and that's with the rates that he would get with Zion and the whole crew off. Missy, just real fast because some of this small sample size stuff is a little bit tricky. Did I not juke Missy's rates? Oh, you know what? I took the New Orleans rate adjustment off because I didn't want to stack anybody too much. There's not a big enough sample size for all the key Pelicans missing. So Yves Missy, his normal rates would give him this outcome. He looks okay. I don't think Yves Missy's a bad play, but I'd rather see him out so we just know we're going to get more minutes or some of the cheaper guys. Aaron Gordon, big rate boost overall for not having Jokic in. Jokic absolutely going to be out today no matter what. You could also get potentially Gordon himself out. Could also get Murray out. You get some combo therein. But basically, Aaron Gordon averaging 1.1 fantasy points minute without Jokic this year, about 630 possessions. So we're in the safe side, the sample size there. He's had monster days with Jokic out. Obviously, having Murray in, if he were out, would make it even easier for Gordon to have a potential big day here. And Jeff Doughton. So Jeff Doughton, I believe somebody in the chat pointed out, and this morning on the Discord, rather, which I'll quick plug here. Of course, get into the Discord, join down below for $4.99. Just join the channel, sync your Discord to your YouTube, and you're good to go. And you'll be added to the Squirt Squad Discord as long as you click the link down below as well in the description. But it's a great place to be. Of course, lots going on in there about NBA, about NFL in particular. If you are an NFL fan, make sure to come into that channel. But Discord, we're growing every day, so please do join me on there. But somebody asked the Discord about like Jeff Doughton having 2 games left, basically on a 2-way deal. Some teams like Dallas have been making it so like they have to save it up. So like Kessler Edwards probably not going to play today. Didn't play the last game because he only has 1 game left in his 2-way deal. So Dallas can't sign guys. So like they don't want to do that. I guess for Philadelphia, I would think they might play Doughton more today, especially with Grimes being out, because they could still sign him to a regular deal. Or convert him to a regular deal at this point. So Doughton, I think, is safe. I imagine he'll be in the rotation no matter what. Philly's rotation is really lacking guards today for the most part. They got a good amount of big men again with Yabusele being able to go, Bona joining back the rotation. They lose Brissett. They still have Alex Reese. Like, we've got enough big guys. I think you need to keep playing Doughton no matter what. So I assume he'll just lose 1 more game of eligibility and play today. And as it is right now, getting him at 3x the field. But Stokastic, I imagine, will bump his minutes up to like high 20s. And if that's the case, Doughton's going to look like as good of a play as anybody else in the slate. So let's go game by game here, guys. Of course, still going down the grind here Monday to Friday, usually at 4 p.m. every day. Today to start early because dad duties call, but please do subscribe down below. Please hit the like button. Please leave a comment. It all goes a long way for me here. Just one guy trying to run an NBA channel, NFL channel, and of course, both going on sturdily. MLB being added to the mix too. I got to figure out what my rollout for Splash Play is because I'm not sure what my Stokastic MLB schedule is going to be, but I'm going to be trying to do both of that. So stay tuned to this channel. This is where my MLB content will come in. I'm just not sure it's going to be opening day, but it's possible. Going to be moving some stuff around in the coming weeks, especially when NBA season wraps up, the regular season rather wraps up. And of course, check out Unabated too. Great betting data, 20% off. Link down below. They've been a presenting sponsor of the show the entire year. They've been a great partner for me, and they do a great job for you for your betting data. Today, we're not going to have the custom projections or the conditional projections done by Unabated in time. So we're going to do the market data today. But if you want to get in for yourself, see all the data I show you normally on screen here, or on screen and on stream, do check it out. Link down below. Unabated, 20% off. Get their deal for the rest of the NBA season and the playoffs, and they'll do some good for you. You'd have 50 grand if you're tailing Unabated every day, 30 minutes before tip-off. All right, game by game here. So Toronto, 112.8 implied points, facing Washington, 114.8. Normally, earlier in the year, this would have been a game we would have liked to have targeted. The entire DFS tournament landscape would also target it. Now it's at a point where these guys certainly going to be popular, but doesn't feel like as much of a must-have game with how the minutes can get jerked around. Quickly didn't play yesterday, so he should be full go to get you about 28 to 30 minutes here. 28% of the field will play him. I'm getting in 41% of lineups. He's always been better with RJ Barrett out. Barrett out today for rest, so quickly a strong play here. Would have it about 1.3 fantasy points a minute today in my projection. Scotty Barnes, also an okay play here, seemingly playing 30 minutes in every game now after being a little bit lower when they were jerking the minutes around a little bit even more aggressively a couple weeks ago. That said, for Barnes, $8,700 salary. I'm not crazy about him. With this much ownership going Quickly's way, if you're not going to play Quickly in a lineup, I think playing Barnes at $8,700, given the lack of pay-up options today, like boosting him in those situations, be a reasonable thing to do and try to get Barnes to try to get some leverage on his Quickly ownership that is pretty high, even if it is justifiable. Nothing else stands out that much. Pirtle, I'm not getting there at 24 minutes. I don't know why the field will play him 18%. It's hard to imagine him hitting a ceiling outcome in that low of a run of minutes. When you also have Barnes and Quickly in. Nobody else looking that good. Mobo as a value is in play, but I think there's much better values already on the slate. So not really an option for me today. Given that Grimes not playing, Chris, that'd be hard to do. But if Grimes were playing, he would have been in a lot of my lineups, and I'd have been very happy for it. Washington, 114.8 implied points. You have the same thing here. You have no Bay, no Brogdon. You do have Middleton in today. Marcus Smart in as well. So these guys are probably not appropriately priced for even having any more credible bodies in the rotation. Alex Sarr looks okay to me. Still not a player I trust. The center minutes being shortened a little bit lately. Very rare is their fourth quarter run for Alex Sarr, even though that's mostly because Wizards are obviously not doing a lot of great work generally in the games and hanging in tight. But even in games that have been competitive, it seems like Sarr, they want to ramp the minutes down a little bit towards the back end of games. So I don't see what you'd play from Washington, but certainly from a tournament standpoint, something could hit here. I'm not going to rule it out. Lakers, 109.5 implied points. Luka Doncic and LeBron James, basically your default pay-up options on the slate. Luka, nobody will be able to afford him that easily on the slate, or will want to, I guess. But 4x value, not looking that good. He is your only option up here. Playing Luka probably gets unique, and if this game is a competitive one, as we expect versus Orlando, maybe Luka does better against a tough defense than expected. It's happened before. Absolutely can happen in any given tournament. So Luka and LeBron, two options here. Nobody's playing Luka, it looks like so far. LeBron, I got 19% of my lineups. Feel is only at 5% before Stokastic updated their data. Orlando. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner in play today. I'd rather have flat ownership between the two. That's always the case. Wagner being cheaper, I do prefer that a little bit more. Banchero, though, $9,900 salary. Clearly, the field's going to be there a little bit at 15%. We don't have other options. Like 15% Banchero seems fine. Wagner, cheaper. I think he should be owed more, but trying to get these guys pretty evenly. And again, considering separating them in lineups, I think is always a good move. If one of them hits the ceiling outcome, the other one probably comes down a little bit, and maybe he doesn't even hit their projection. So one to keep in mind there. Especially in this game with this low of a total as well. Nothing else in Orlando I would play. If Cole Anthony were out, though, everybody looks a little bit better here. But Corey Joseph, Anthony Black, the minutes there are not really clear either. So I think it would mostly be no matter what you get today. Banchero and Wagner, those guys would just look a little bit better if you get Cole Anthony out. Minnesota, that Q tag on Anthony Edwards is your key thing right now with him in. The T-Wolves don't look that playable to me. Anthony Edwards, single-digit ownership, under 10%. If you got 10%, great. Again, there's really nobody who looks like a great pay-up option today, so get there if you can get there. Naz Reid, okay as well, but really not time I play him normally with Randall and Gobert in. Minnesota, to me, not a great team to look at here, but we do often see these, especially on short slates. If Minnesota, Indiana puts up 130 each, Anthony Edwards probably an outlier day. Maybe Halliburton did well on that side. You can see sort of a game script here that can hit and does hit often enough. Feels like for Pacers games. For Indiana on their side, never really getting Halliburton too much. Got him in 14% of lineups so today. Fields at 21%. The lack of pay-up options makes Halliburton's 39-point projection for me look a little bit better. Pascal Siakam, not great either, but 6.5% owned. He's less owned than Halliburton by a good amount, so kind of natural leverage there. Nembhard is kind of priced up for life without Halliburton. I don't want to be there. So really, Indiana not an appealing spot going against Minnesota, where you're losing possessions, playing a team with a tough defense. But Halliburton in this spot, I could see getting to, just because it feels like the kind of matchup to me where he would go off. Not a great total for Indiana, though, 115.5 implied points. Dallas right now, it's a Q tag on Anthony Davis. I didn't update minutes to put him in yet because I find it hard to believe that he actually plays today. If he does play at a 10-2 salary, all he does is make these other guys entirely unplayable. And he himself, I don't know that he's healthy enough to play like 35 minutes, which he'd probably need to get to. But on a slate, again, where the pay-up options suck, maybe you take a shot at Anthony Davis, who did put up like 1.75 or it might be closer to 2 fantasy points a minute. That shorts than he had for the Mavs earlier in the year. I just don't see it being the situation that you'd want to go crazy over, but Anthony Davis on this slate, I think in particular, maybe you get 5-10% and don't feel that bad about. PJ Washington has been pretty awful with the various other Mavs not in the rotation. His usage has come down a lot. Like, he was playing better with Kyrie than without for whatever reason, because the ball handlers just don't know how to get in the balls effectively, / I don't draw enough attention away from him for him to do things a little bit better. The PJ Washington, $8,200 salary, I'm not there. Najee Marshall, I'd be there if Anthony Davis is out. If Davis is in, I probably won't get any Najee. Getting him about 3x the field right now. It feels at 7%. Najee playing well enough. He and Dinwiddie kind of stabilizing as the lead guards so far for Dallas. But again, this assumes Anthony Davis doesn't play. If he does play, I probably would not touch anything besides Anthony Davis himself. Brooklyn, no D'Angelo Russell today. Your biggest rate winner seems to be Cam Johnson. Getting him in 15% of my lineups. Fields at 19%. I have about a fantasy point higher than Stokastic, so it wouldn't shock me to see that come up a little bit more. Nick Claxton, not really a player for me, but getting him in half the field's 14%. These guys to me on Brooklyn, nobody really gains a whole lot from having Russell off the court, Cam Thomas, Schroeder, Simmons, your various illustrious lead guards for Brooklyn that are not available today, one of which is only still on the team. Nobody gains enough really to want to advocate too much, especially in a game with only a 108 implied point total. Like, Dallas has had some nice scoring games. It doesn't look like one based on the low total between the two teams. 80 with a Q is an upgrade from yesterday's doubtful, so keep an eye on that, people. It is an upgrade, yes. So yeah, I would think he's getting closer to playing. I just feel like with him at this point, you're probably going to have a probable tag in advance before he plays. Like, I imagine it'll be one of those things where, like, Anthony Davis is scheduled to return this week, and, like, Shams will report it. I just don't think it happens out of nowhere on a random game versus Brooklyn, but maybe put him in versus Brooklyn in hopes it's an easier matchup. But, like, frankly, the big matchup here would be, like, more aggressive on him than some others might be, playing Claxton, playing Sharp, whatever amount of minutes he would be out there. Philadelphia, so 112.8 implied points for Philadelphia. I don't think the total has moved at all because I did update right before the show. So I don't think it actually dropped much, if at all, for Grimes being out. Let me just make sure that's the case. Let's see. Philadelphia, the line moved a half point. So they're still at 111.8, it looks like. New Orleans totals up to 116.3, which is pretty high for the lack of guys they have as well. But Philadelphia here, basically take Grimes out. You're opening up about 35.5% usage in court time without the other star Sixers. Grimes, too, I was really rooting to play today because getting shit talked by George Niang yesterday, with Niang making a joke about how, like, if Tyrese Max is out here, if Joel is out here, you're back in the corner, boy. You're like me or whatever. It's like some shit talk about they were shooting free throws when he was shooting the free throw. I thought Grimes playing well today against New Orleans would have been a fun thing. I think this would have been where we could see the 60-point ceiling. He's out, though. Point is that, to me, his projection today would have been about 52 fantasy points. Now it's getting divided up amongst a bunch of guys that are not that great. For Jared Butler, I think he gains the most, but his price tag 6,100 doesn't look that good. That said, his rates with Grimes off the court actually start to look like Jared Butler has previously. So Jared Butler, I think, in the hunt to get some more opportunity today, even though 6,100 is not really a price tag you're dying to get to. Justin Edwards, to me, be the big stand. Got him in 53% of my lineups compared to the field's 24%. That's without Stokastic updating their data. So, like, you're not getting Edwards in some of the sim lineups as much as you would normally. Edwards, I don't think, is like a 100% play. I only have him at 31.4 projection over here, but still think he's one of the better Sixers. I feel good about the floor and the ceiling for the minutes. And he and Doughton, I think, probably going to be your lead kind of aggressive shot creators / shot takers for themselves. Ricky Council would be a player here who probably gains a few minutes from Grimes being out. I probably could have given him a few more here. Instead, I just gave Bona 27.5 minutes. Want a little more big forward for this matchup because New Orleans is going to have a little more bigs on their side if Missy's playing. But Philadelphia's a team I really want to see Stokastic minutes here. Unfortunately, I don't have them handy before the show, so they didn't update. I had to do the best I could. But I think it could move around more where you get Doughton more, you get Council more minutes, and maybe you play a little bit less Bona, a little bit less Okiki rather. Alex Reese, they just don't ever seem to want to play him big minutes. But they have a lot of big bodies between those guys and Yabusele, so could go either way. But I do think Justin Edwards, no matter what, going to look good. Doughton going to look good. Butler a little expensive, but the upside could be there more than it is normally with Grimes in, where he is just like a forgotten man. New Orleans on their side, no Zion, no McCollum here. New Orleans a little bit not shorthanded. They have Lester Quinones available today. I gave him 11 minutes. I'm not sure he actually gets it. They have Alfred Payton available as well, but they haven't wanted to play him lately. They gave Keon Brooks 20 minutes yesterday, so give him the same 20 minutes again today. Alvarado, I think, is your big winner, but as I mentioned earlier, they have other guards they might want to see. They have other guards they could play if they don't want to play Alvarado. Extended minutes here, so a little bit of a risk for him, though, but because of the competitive matchup versus Philly, I expect him to get 4 quarters run. That's basically it. Brissett's not in the projection set. I kept him in case they re-signed him, but his 10-day expired. They could bring him back, so it's not really worth taking him out. Same thing for Mo Bamba, who I think is not on the roster right now, but I keep him in just in case they bring the guy back in because they need a body. So that's the reason why he's still on the screen. Anyway, for New Orleans here, Olynyk looking okay, but the minutes probably won't get that high. Hard to imagine playing more than 25 minutes. He'd be very productive in 25 minutes, but at 5,300, I'm not sure that he's good enough value play. And you'll probably have some cheap guys. Again, in the same game, you'll have maybe Doughton and Justin Edwards at the similar price. Spags playing like 35 minutes. So for Olynyk, I think that the minutes make it tough to play him. Yves Missy, if he's in, will look pretty good. As we talked about, if he's out, we'll open things up more for a Makovich, for a Kelly Olynyk, for a Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. But right now, these guys all look like pretty good values. Knowing the starters is a really important thing here. This game tonight tips off at 8 o'clock, so it's the 5th game on the slate. Make sure you keep flexibility here. Really, the Denver game and this game are your 2 most important ones for DraftKings tonight to keep some late swap flexibility going. For what it's worth to Antonio Reeves, who I do like in these kind of situations as a gunner. He's paid off well for us at least once this year when nobody's going to play him, or nobody seemed like they were going to play him. He ended up being chalky because there were no Pelicans left, basically. Reeves would not shock me at some point to be a starter, but so far he's behind Keon Brooks, behind Jordan Hawkins as well. So I think those guys benefit from the minutes more. But it wouldn't shock me if you all of a sudden got Antonio Reeves start. And if he does start, I would probably take some shots there with me putting up 0.9 fantasy points a minute in my projection for him today. Chicago, Josh Giddey, the big stand here with 117.5 implied points. Nice total going against Denver. Denver, no Jokic, obviously going to change things around on their side. Maybe defensively, actually, if they're playing DeAndre Jordan, absolutely not a defensive upgrade. But if they go smaller there, guys can maybe be a little more attentive defensively than Jokic normally is. Doesn't really matter, though, for Josh Giddey. 51% for me, 28% for the field. Gains in every category for not having the true point guards out there. Now you take Trey Jones out as well. Think Giddey gets more possessions through that. Kobe White would definitely be a pivot point to Giddey. Less of a good projection on him. But certainly if Giddey were to fail, it could be because Kobe White or Vucevic or Herter had outlier days. Vucevic, the rates without the actual point guard, still really bad for him, but I kept his rates flat with where he's been the entire year because I don't want to miss out on Vucevic upside days. But his usage has been like under 20% in some spots. Last game for Chicago, Buzelis had like 29% usage in that game, and Vucevic had 17%. So there's some bad variability for Vucevic. He still had an okay fantasy day. It's I don't want to not get him entirely, but Vucevic is just not getting up shots like he used to. That's really it for Chicago. Top 4 matters. Everybody else, not so much. Unless you got a Javon Carter start or something for Trey Jones, but it's not the most likely. Denver on their side, Jokic out here, so you get the boost up for Jamal Murray, getting him in 32% of my lineups. Basically looks like an okay play to me, though, as a 5x value. On this slate, though, there's enough under 5x. I think Murray being in the third of my lineups feels okay. A little bit less than the Fields, 37%. Michael Porter Jr. getting him at 10%, Fields at 20%. Aaron Gordon getting him in a lot here, almost 3x the field. For Aaron Gordon, 68% for me, 23%. Stokastic's ownership right now. And Christian Brown, I'm getting less of. I think in a perfect world, you'd want to flatten these guys out a little bit. Would not shock me to see Murray sit as well on the back-to-back. Gordon sitting is a possibility as well. Like there's a lot of things that could move here. But a nice total for Denver with 121 implied points. So I think whoever's playing, you're going to play him here. And DeAndre Jordan, he's all the way down here. If he starts, you could probably talk me into put him in just every lineup at that point because he played 38 minutes as a starter yesterday. If he's coming off the bench or if he's not in the starting lineup, I would assume that he might not play at all. He is so old, but like if you play 38 minutes, he could theoretically play 25 to 30 the next day unless he woke up and was just in a ton of pain. But he's been fine whenever he's played minutes here, so I don't know. I think assuming he starts is probably the logical move, but that's why I'm nauseous in the thumbnails. You can see over my shoulder here. I'm nauseous because I don't know that he's actually going to play the minutes he should, but watch out for that one. Again, that's the last game of the slate. Knowing Jordan's status is probably the most important thing today. Your FanDuel / Underdog games, Tatum looks good. Nothing else really stands out that much. Sacramento getting Sabonis in is not good for the price tags here. They're not priced for this. Probably would not play Sacramento at all today if Sabonis does play. Milwaukee, Giannis looks great. No Lillard here. Ryan Rollins probably starts but doesn't close. Would still say, though, Kevin Porter Jr. going to be owned well on both sites. If you want to try to play Rollins over Porter in some lineups, that might be a thing that can help you in tournaments. Rollins has been playing well. Just not enough to get there. We got Phoenix as well. No Beal in. Doesn't really add enough here for these guys at their price tags. Ceiling gets higher for Booker and Durant, but that's basically it. You are not tripping here. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I have to pick up my kid today because the wife's out of town. So I have to do that, basically do this video earlier, get my kid, get him situated, then do the deeper dive for Stokastic. So unfortunately, that is the arithmetic that makes up my life when I am on solo dad duty. Let's go to unabated, though. So today, again, we're not going to have the conditional NBA projections because they're not into unabated systems yet. We will use their market data to take a quick look here through everything. And, of course, you should learn about unabated's conditional NBA projections. They're one of the best things in the business going if you're trying to win money at betting. So check out this video. And who you know from Underdog, from Fantasy Labs, from Basketball Monster. He's been everywhere. Now he's here for you in unabated, doing the work every day. Of course, Q tags in. You can always rule guys in, rule guys out. Going to be really important as well down the home stretch of the season to have unabated's data when we are in the full tanking season of things. It feels like we're in it now, guys. You got another couple of weeks left where you're going to really want that unabated data to find ifs, adds, and buts on slates. And of course, you get graphs here, distributions of all the bets you can simulate out. And you can see various things in graph form, including how much money you'd be winning, which I'll show you guys in a moment too. Expert Game Day live stream is going to be doing some free streams for unabated after the regular season ends, so keep an eye out for that as well. Those guys will be doing great work when they do it here. If they're competing against me, I will slit their throats. Check it out, unabated.com/NBA. This is how much money you'd be up. We're now up to about $55,000 in change as of March 17th. If you placed every bet that Unabated recommends, the 5% or higher edge, 30 minutes for tip-off, $100 units. Obviously, you're placing $10 units. You'd be up $5,500 instead. That's what you do with professional quality data that people are using who are professional bettors to win money. And it takes a lot of work. Sometimes feels like just logging in, placing all the bets. But really, show up 30 minutes before tip-off of every game, especially if you're on the West Coast. It's real fucking easy to do that during a work day. Get your bets in. It is great data, and you will win money here, and they will also make sure that you're getting the best data possible because there are a lot of people who spend money on their product that, frankly, spend a lot more than you or I would on a given unit. So check it out, 20% off and unabated, link down below, and get in there. Let's use the market-based projections today, of course, because their regular projections are not out. And here's all your Q tag guys. So I think these guys will still not appear in the data set. Let's go to points. Let's see what the market-based data has for us today. Drum just hit a little different at 2:30. There you go. Everybody's got different time zones. It's all good, CM. It's me having moved things around. This is probably the last time we have to do a 3 p.m. stream, I hope, before the NBA season ends. So, but unfortunately, that's just my life as a dad. So, it is what it is. You have to strap Luka in if you want to know the magic behind things. I have to get Luka situated here, give him some snacks, put him in front of cars, probably is most likely it, though he's been asking for some different shit. We're watching some PBS kids shows over the weekend. I don't know what we're going to get today. I have to leave him out there and hope he doesn't do anything destructive in the hour while I'm here doing the deeper dive. So that is coming up today at 5 p.m. Tune in. All right, we got... Obi Toppin, so not a lot of great market-based opportunities right now, but Obi Toppin under 8.5 points, looking good on FanDuel, minus 111 odds on there, gets you 3.7% EV. And for what it's worth, market-based EVs can be lower. For a sim EV, you want 5% or higher, and of course, the higher the better. For a market-based EV, you could technically take bets 1% or higher. Ideally, you would go 2% or higher, based on what I know of having a startup before in the space that did something very similar. But Obi Toppin here looks good. These other ones I probably wouldn't take, so we are light on bets. I wonder if maybe there's some I didn't scroll all the way up. All right, there's a few that just didn't appear at first. I can't leave you guys with only one bet. It's not enough. Here we go. So Obi Toppin, good. Drew Holiday line just moved, so that's gone. Andrew Nembhard, 2.7% EV at minus 106 odds for over 9.5 points for Nembhard today. Looking pretty good for that for Nembhard. And that's it. Not a lot of market-based opportunities. Market-based data does dry up, honestly, throughout this time of day in particular. So we'll see if we can find any for rebounds, but everybody's caught up for the most part, it looks like. Yeah, I also can confirm, in fact, that I did not have anything to do with that. No, I don't want to jeopardize my one freelance gig that pays me pretty well to do something for no fucking reason. And as Brick and the guys pointed out, the Hitler thing alone would throw you off. I'm the least Hitler guy in the world. I'm like fucking super Libby with things like that. So no, not me, even though funny bit. Very funny stream on Lulz I mentioned on Friday too. But yes, no, not me. Keon Johnson, your best bet right now for rebounds, under 4 rebounds, looking good on PrizePicks. A lot of EV on this one. For market-based EV in particular, pretty high. For Keon Johnson, under 4 rebounds on PrizePicks, you probably don't want anywhere else, but take that 12.6% EV for Keon Johnson, his rebounds under on PrizePicks. Jose Alvarado over 2.5 rebounds. Again, he can play more minutes today for sure. The 28-minute projection that I have for him is probably a little bit conservative. But Jose Alvarado, 9.3% EV on PrizePicks over 2.5 rebounds. So 2 legit good bets on PrizePicks, especially for market-based EV here. Instead of the usual unabated conditional projections EV we have. So take those 2, Keon Johnson, Jose Alvarado, a rebound under and a rebound over for Alvarado. Franz Wagner, under 6 rebounds, 4.8% EV for him on PrizePicks as well. So pretty good card for rebounds on PrizePicks. Would not take it anywhere else because it's all negative EV. And Kai Jones, you could take it, but I'd probably, let's go through the rest of them. I probably would not add up to a card as a first choice. All right. Hitler photo instantly sent me to draft cheat. Not I don't want to. I don't want to be the one accusing anybody of running a Hitler photo, but it does seem like I would guess it's probably like angry customer would be my first guess because people lose money, they get really tilted about stuff. I think that's a logical assumption. Like nobody who worked there, like, Jordan, who's no longer there, who Greg mentioned, is Jewish. Like, why would he put up a Hitler? Like, it's got to be a very specific kind of troll. And normally I think that kind of trolling would be like angry internet person trolling. But that's my guess. As somebody that doesn't really know. So that just shows up and clocks in 5 minutes before stream starts. We got Nick Claxton over 2.5 assists. A lot of EV on this one on PrizePicks. Honestly, a good PrizePicks card with the market-based data. 10.3% EV for Nick Claxton over 2.5 assists today on PrizePicks. Kyle Kuzma over 2.5 assists plus 130 odds on DraftKings. Get you 6.5% EV. Not available anywhere else or not anywhere you want to take it, rather. But Kuzma, hey, no Lillard. He gets more assists. Happens. Even though Kuzma does suck. Bub Carrington over 3.5 assists, looking good on PrizePicks as well. 6.1% EV on there. You probably wouldn't want anywhere else. Honestly, this also shows, by the way, like, you guys might not really care about the stuff. Shows you how much PrizePicks is not paying enough attention to market data. Like, you should use like stuff like conditional projections. That's your most EV because it's like proprietary and very premium and only a select group of people have it. So like, you're not moving lines. Like, you're not seeing these lines move as much. For market-based stuff, for them to not catch up on some of these and to be off on their odds. Like you see DraftKings here has the same line at minus 175. They basically have it as like a 60% higher chance of that hitting. It's just not well-priced lines on PrizePicks right now. So I would say if you're just kind of throwing shit in willy-nilly, you'd see why PrizePicks is probably your softest pick'em site to get bets in on. Anyway, Tyrese Martin is probably a tangent that only I care about, but it's interesting to see. Tyrese Martin under 3.5 assists, looking best on PrizePicks as well, 5.5% EV for him. Definitely some assist upside today with the lack of point guards, but Tyrese Martin, he brings the ball up. He doesn't really initiate offense like a Trendon Watford does, even on that same team. So Martin here, taking the under, I'd be okay with that. Mike Conley under 4.5 assists, looking good on PrizePicks as well, 4.1% EV for Mike Conley, whose minutes have been down lately as they save him for the playoffs seemingly a little bit. 4.1% EV for Mike Conley under 4.5 assists. Once again on PrizePicks. DeMar DeRozan on both pick'em sites looking good for under 4.5 assists. The assumption here is that you get Sabonis in. If Sabonis were to suddenly be ruled out, that would certainly make you holding the bag on this line a little bit. But Sabonis plays, this line looks good for DeRozan under 4.5 assists on your pick'em sites, getting you 3.7% EV. Tyrese Halliburton over 9.5 assists, 3.1% EV, looking good on DraftKings, minus 105. And Jordan Poole, 3% EV for over 3.5 assists for him. Soft match versus Toronto, looking good on PrizePicks as well, even though we've definitely had better lines on PrizePicks so far. PRA is coming up before we run a sim. I don't know if Stokastic is updated. Oh, Stokastic updated their data too. So we'll get a fresh sim here with their takes coming up. And of course, we'll finish up unabated here with our PRAs. Last but not least. The Claxon assist prop is a green goblin. Okay, there you go. And honestly, I wish I had I wish these sites would allow me to play as an affiliate, because I just don't have enough pick'em. Obviously I know betting better than most people in the space, hopefully from having made a data product and done the testing and all that, and been doing this for long enough. But I've never placed a pick'em because I didn't do it very much in California. It just didn't behoove me to. And now that I'm in Pennsylvania and been here for almost 4 years this year, I haven't played pick'ems at all. In PrizePicks, I feel like there's legit EV on PrizePicks. Underdog, it's more, you go on a site that you like to play on, but I don't know. Let's see. My favorite story from that stream was Alex Baker apparently once did a screen share of this porn. That was a funny one too. I don't recall that, but it vaguely rung a bell for me. But yeah, honestly, the LOL stream with Greg and Pete, they've always been funny when I've actually connected them initially. One of very few guest bookings I made on Splash Play NFL streams back in the day. And those guys are always hilarious together. I laugh so much doing shows with them. So I'd really recommend, if you want to have an hour to kill, I would watch that stream. Anyway, Drew Holiday, PRA's bets. Over 18.5 PRAs, looking best on Underdog, where it's 12.6% EV. Drew Holiday over 19.5, also looking good on DraftKings, where it's 5.3% EV at minus 110 odds. So Drew Holiday, clearly a lot of good PRAs for Underdog today. Jason Tatum over 41.5 PRAs. No Jaylen Brown again, I would assume. 9% EV here on Underdog for the higher on 41.5 PRAs. You probably don't want that Tatum line anywhere else because it's all negative EVs based off this market-based data on Unabated, but Jason Tatum on Underdog looking good for a pick'em. Porzingis, 5.1% EV for his over on 28.5 PRAs. The line moving here based on some of the stuff with Horford ruled out and Porzingis and Drew, various people questionable here, but that's the EV right now based off the market-based data. 5.1% EV for Porzingis for 28.5 PRAs. And of course, if he doesn't play, he'll just get voided. And Malik Monk, if you need it here for Underdog to round out a card, 2% EV for the higher on 27.5 PRAs, but probably not a lot else. And of course, guys, hey, whenever you see a plus EV line on Underdog, go think about this promo code. Think about it and also do it. Underdog, $1,000 in bonus cash, link down below, or use the promo code SPLASH Underdog. Back on board for another year. Of course, announced it on Friday on this show and the NFL channel, but do check it out. Of course, Underdog does go a long way from here. I have to convert so much more than I'm capable of, but we're doing the best we can to make the money we got to make to keep these channels going and growing. So please show some love. If you're not an Underdog, just put in fucking $50 and take it back out. Play some stuff, I guess, but just please support the show if you can. All right, let's go to Stokastic next. We'll run a DFS sim. And of course, this part of the show, my data not influencing things at all, so we'll get a fresh read on things. And we're a little bit ahead of schedule, so I can take a look at the data as well to see if anything moved around too meaningfully. But guys, do make sure to subscribe as well down below. Hit the like button, leave a comment. Every day on this channel, it's a live stream channel, basically, where these videos only have honestly less than 1 hour of usefulness some days, the way the NBA injury stuff moves. Your support goes a long way here. If you enjoy this content, it gets showed to more people as we are live every day. So please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. It goes a long way for me here. One guy just doing the best I can to gamble intelligently here on stream. And frankly, since I've launched this channel, I feel like I've kept myself more personally accountable with my play. And I've had a good year. I haven't had a first place takedown in the way that I would like to have, but I've been around the hunt enough, and I would like to get one down the home stretch. It'd be pretty cool to win some more money on the home stretch. But I feel like I've had a good year of play, and I think doing the stream every day has been a part of that. So I put in the work every day as best I can for myself, but also just so I don't look like an asshole on stream and give you guys good takes. And that's going to be the case the rest of the NBA season, moving into MLB as well. So, show some love, subscribe. Check out the Discord as well. Join the channel. Just the regular $5 tier will get you access to the Discord. NBA channels on there, NFL as well. Probably a baseball one going to get added soon when the season starts. So just go join, support if you can. And especially if you enjoy this content. Obviously, if you don't enjoy the content, then I don't know. That's then why did I even offer that as an opportunity? But if you enjoy the content, support the show, please. Stokastic, same thing too. $1 deal for all their MLB data, all their sims and stuff. And if you go click the link in the description, you can take whatever promo they have going. It's going to immediately give you the cycle deal on there, but click the link in the description and I get credit for it. And then if you do keep your membership, then I get half that money. So I don't know, whatever. It's like the worst sales pitch in the world. Oh, please just take this. You save some money. That's the big thing. But it's so I get half the money instead of this company that you like. But, that's the way that it goes. All right. Top 150 lineups. Your highest ROIs right now. And actually, let's look at the projections real fast just to see where they have their highest value, guys. DeAndre Jordan, they have a 9.4x value. Again, only playing 25.8 minutes. If, God forbid, he were to start in the back-to-back and play 35 minutes again, he's probably an absolute must-have at a 3K minimum salary. So keep some lineup room available for DeAndre Jordan. Alvarado, your number 2 value on the slate. Yves Missy, number 3. Jonathan Mobo at number 4. I am not as high on Mobo. Jordan Hawkins at number 5. Justin Edwards at number 6. So that's where Stokastic is right now in terms of top values, but we'll see what we get in the actual lineups here. Number 1 lineup right now in Stokastic's ROI metrics, Jose Alvarado, Jared Butler, who does get a pretty big rate increase from Quentin Grimes being off the court. Zion Williamson, Jonathan Mobo, DeAndre Jordan. So 2 little value guys there. Christian Brown, Paolo Banchero, and Michael Porter Jr. So no Aaron Gordon in this one, who I do have as being a little bit more of a valuable play, but maybe you're getting some leverage on ownership here by going to Porter Jr. and Christian Brown. Number 2, you have Tyrese Halliburton, Christian Brown again, Michael Porter Jr. again, Jonathan Mobo again. Kola Vucevic makes this one. Jose Alvarado makes this one as well. Josh Giddey and DeAndre Jordan in this lineup too. Number 3, you have Jamal Shed, Jared Butler, Justin Edwards. Zion. Did they not take Zion out? Why would they not have taken Zion out? Wait, hold up. This data didn't update. What the fuck? All right, bear with me, because it just said it updated on the other screen. Am I the stupid one? I just looked at it and it said 3 o'clock, and now it says 10:54 again. And I'm refreshing here. All right, I'm confused now. I'm going to run the sim again. Let's hope this is right. What the fuck? Maybe they haven't updated. Or they rolled it back? I guess that's possible. All right, so this data might just be from this morning. So that doesn't help you guys. I'm sorry. I got so excited thinking that they updated while I was on the stream and I could come in and get this shit correct. But I'm not sure this is going to be actually helpful. We'll look through it anyway, I guess. Why don't they update, man? I know this is again, I'm very happy to get to do some contracting work for Stokastic and be on streams and love that community and all that and people I work with. If they're selling underdog rankings, they really should be fucking updating all day long. I really will defend that to the death. For me, I update as fast as I can during the day because I know some people might be using it for battle royales and stuff. But that's one of the things in the industry, and I know ETR is the same thing. You got to update immediately for people. That's the reason they're paying you, I think. Anyway, whatever. Fuck me, I guess. Now I'm just running the same sim over again, so that's my bad. And we'll see what they had before they took Zion out. Obviously, this much Alvarado or Yves Missy or whatever, you have to assume with taking Zion out, you're going to get even more Alvarado, more Yves Missy. So kind of the way I would try to keep it in mind with this one. Your ownership still says Zion. That's that. Stokastic pays me to be an affiliate. Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, the way that I sell it is just, I guess, up to me. But this is part of what my process has been on stream, and I help differentiate myself. So yeah, they pay me affiliate money to promote their product, which should be clear. You think I'm just hopping on doing this for free? Because we make it pretty transparent. All right. Well, anyway, we're gonna have the same lineups here. First one looks the same. Second one looks the same. Just none with Zion are gonna be it. Here, this one, no Zion. Jose Alvarado, Jared Butler, Justin Edwards, LeBron James, Jakob Poeltl, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., DeAndre Jordan. So getting a bunch of nuggets here. It's going to happen with no Nikola Jokic. LeBron in because you just have to spend your money somewhere. That's how it looks. Number 5 is the Zion lineup. I'm going to only look at ones without Zion. Boy, Zion was going to really be an important play today, it looks like, though. Here's one without Zion: Butler, Brown, Scotty Barnes, Aaron Gordon, Nick Claxton, Jose Alvarado, Josh Giddey, DeAndre Jordan. The tenets of that lineup should still be sound. The biggest thing I think that will change when they do update, you're going to get more Jared Butler from Stokastic for sure, but you're also going to get more Justin Edwards, more Ricky Council, I think, to some extent, more Jeff Doughton in these lineups. But I think a lot of the other stuff will stay the same. Another one without Zion here, and we're just going to keep getting this going. Alvarado, Butler, Giddey, Banchero, Missy, Brown, Gordon, DeAndre Jordan. So look, you see what you're getting here. You're getting a lot of Denver guys, some Philadelphia, some New Orleans. I think that's going to hold steady no matter what. And Giddey has a pay-up option that looks the best. Nothing too surprising here. Did all the Denver guys get the Q tag? I'm not on Twitter right now, so I don't know. But the assumption was that most of them were going to be questionable today on the back-to-back. Let's see. Nothing Yeah, Brown probable, so he should play. Jamal Murray probable. Q tag on Aaron Gordon was expected, and Porter Jr. didn't get a Q tag. So no, I would say your risky play now is Aaron Gordon, but I think you still want to keep him in for the flexibility to swap around because you want to know who's starting at center there. And that's the last game on the slate for the DraftKings slate. But yeah, now it seems like you would expect Murray and Brown to play now, and Porter is not even on the injury report, so he should almost definitely play. Jared Butler, your highest ROI guy. I imagine that's only going to go up with Stokastic. 27% ROI for them. It could move around a little bit because of not having Grimes in. The sim may have viewed Butler as like a leverage play, but I think Stokastic is going to project Butler really well today, and he's probably going to be one of their favorite plays of the day. DeAndre Jordan, as long as he's going to start, he looks good. Stokastic giving him under 26 minutes is how it is. Basically, for DeAndre Jordan at this point, if he starts, you play him as much as possible. If he doesn't start, I'd be really worried about it a little bit more. Played 38 minutes yesterday. Again, if he starts, he's good to go. Luka Doncic spending up here to get unique in a competitive game versus Orlando, 12-3 salary. People won't play him because it's a tough slate, and also that's a tough matchup on paper. It's not a great total for the Lakers, but Luka and LeBron, I think, on this slate where there aren't great pay-up options, you just play him for that reason. Jonathan Mobo, I just don't see it the same way as they do, but $4,100 salary. Still a lot of big men out there. Mobo's going to get you, though, mid-20s minutes at the very least. Michael Porter Jr. getting some of that Nuggets value, no Jokic. Anthony Edwards behind him. Zaire Williams behind him. Highest exposed guys. Stokastic's top 150 lineups give you 98% DeAndre Jordan. So once again, if he plays minimum salary, it's just not the correct price tag. As long as he's starting, if he's not in that starting lineup, you could assume that he might not play at all. I would probably try to run and take him out of lineups again and would swap to whoever the starter is at center at that point. Alvarado, number 2, 65% exposure compared to the field's 58. So not as big of a stand as DeAndre Jordan, who's in 2x the lineups. More than that, actually, but Alvarado's still a pro stand for him. Zion Williamson would have been in a lot, so the sim is going to move around quite a bit when Stokastic does update. Jamal Murray was in 41% lineups, feels at 36, so pro stand on him as well, but not a big one. Michael Porter Jr., almost 2x the field on him, 37% compared to 20% for the field. Josh Giddey, 37% compared to 29%. I also think Giddey really is your big winner for the point guards no longer being available for Chicago at this point. Aaron Gordon, 33% compared to 25, as we just talked about. He got downgraded to a Q tag, or I guess was confirmed as a Q tag is more like the better way to say it. But he's your only guy out of the starting group there who is not probable or entirely off the injury report. So Aaron Gordon, definitely a key thing to watch out for because to me, he looks like the most important play on the Nuggets without Jokic. Your highest exposed guys, or highest leverage guys, rather. DeAndre Jordan getting 52% more than the field. Jared Butler, 22% more. These numbers are going to move. His ownership will come up, but I think they're also going to give you a lot more exposure with now Quentin Grimes being ruled out, which he was not in his data set you're seeing on screen. Michael Porter Jr., 16% more than the field. Again, getting that Denver, just a lot of opportunity for that entire team with no Jokic. Certainly Porter Jr. would also come up if Aaron Gordon were ruled out. Zaire Williams, 12% leverage on the field as well. Josh Giddey, 7%. Aaron Gordon, 7%. Not really big stands here, I guess, besides DeAndre Jordan and Jared Butler, and those, the Butler one's absolutely going to go up. Your most negative leverage guys, they don't want you to play Jordan Hawkins. I think that'll change now that Zion has been ruled out, but Hawkins, Stokastic has negative 30% leverage on, so only 5% exposure. And they're top 150 lineups compared to the field's 35% ownership. Quickly, negative 11% leverage. I like him at that price tag, but they don't seem to. PJ Washington, I support that. He's been really bad overall since Kyrie went out, and I think that the rates could certainly stabilize, but I don't want to be the one that pays for it at 8,200. Kobe White is your leverage against Josh Giddey, but they have negative 7% leverage for him, basically barely playing him, only 3% of the top 150. AJ Johnson, negative 7% leverage. Scotty Barnes, negative 7%, so they are fading basically both Quickly and Barnes. Barnes is on a back-to-back, so there's an argument to be made there. And Gershon Yabusele, negative 7% leverage for him. I don't think he's really a play either. So that's what the sim looks like here. Again, unfortunately, wasn't updated. I did the best I could. I'm going to give you guys my splash plays for the day. But first, let's do the quick round here. Please subscribe down below. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. I show up and do the work here. Normally, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. every day. Today, though, dad duties call. I have to get the kid before I strap in and do the deeper dive with Josh Engelman at 5 p.m. on Stokastic's channel. So I'll see you guys there with updated data. For right now, though, unfortunately, is the best I could do. But do check out Underdog. Of course, $1,000 of bonus cash. I'll flash the big one here. Play some pick'ems on Underdog. You can see the EV just based off market-based data. Imagine how much better you could do with an unabated sim, building some pick'ems every day. Unabated, 20% off. Link down below for there as well. Get NBA data the rest of the year. You'd be up now $55,000 if you just placed every bet 30 minutes before tip-off. That's a 5% or higher sim EV. So that's what you're getting with unabated premium data made by a premium team for professional bettors and simplified for fucking buffoons or people like you who are not a fucking buffoon. But, simplified as much as possible. And, of course, Stokastic, whether you want MLB stuff, you can get their $1 deal for the MLB data by clicking down below. Going over there, they're going to immediately hit you with a banner ad to try to make you take that deal anyway. So click the link down below, get in there. MLB stuff, NBA data. If you want to see a sim for NBA that actually is updated, you're going to have to pay for it. Today it's Stokastic. So check it out. And I do get half the money that you go to here. I'm, in fact, not running ads just for fun so people can get money for free. I do get paid from that. And, of course, join the Discord, too. $5 to join. Just join the Splash Play family tier down below. I should keep that up for more than a second, but there we go. Great Discord, building a community here. That's the goal. And of course, you can see when I have new streams, data updates. I sometimes give little tidbits away about players that are moving for me in the projections for everybody who's a member anyway. But of course, if you are paying for my projections and all that, you get those updated too if you join. Splash plays for the day. For me, it would be right now Alvarado, DeAndre Jordan, Justin Edwards, Jeff Doughton. Again, no Quentin Grimes matters a lot for that team. Butler should look better, but the price tag's not really doing it for me, so I'm not as crazy about him as Stokastic is. Pay-up options, Giddey, I think, is one for me. Aaron Gordon, if he plays, if he doesn't play, any Nugget, I think he's going to come into my lineups a little bit more. Quickly, I like, even though the minute's a little bit of a risk there. That's pretty much my player pool for today, guys. So I hope that helps you out. Again, I'll be back at 5 p.m. on Stokastic for the deeper dive, so I'll have some updated data then. Gamble responsibly, even so it's money time here. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the show at Splash Play NBA. More to come for the NBA. And, of course, for MLB, too, on this channel, so please do all that. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Enjoy your days. Good luck, and let's go get Lucas strapped in to watch Cars. All right, bye, guys. Bye, guys.